Here we go, guys. So as you know, we're running a competition right now on the channel to win 200 KVC. Go back a few videos and you'll see a video where we're celebrating 500 subs. And what the competition basically is to leave a comment on that video giving me a video idea. And one of the most common suggestions was how to play defense. So I'm going to play Rockefeller here. He's part of the Facebook group. He got Iggy last season. He's really good at the game. He's obviously got a stacked team as well. So this was a game I played yesterday and it was a good example of defense. Now, I'm not elite at this game. You know, I am having a lot more success with my main team, and hanging out with people like Killer Josh and Notorious God, who are comp level players, is giving me a much better insight into how to play better defense in this game. So I'm just going to run you through that. So as always, guys, please like and subscribe. You guys are absolutely killing it. I really, really appreciate it. So let's get into the video. Let's get into the defensive settings first, and then I'll run you through the game. So I'll slow this down. With settings, there's only a handful of changes. So I go to on-ball smother, I go to off-ball tight, I go on-ball screen go over, and on-ball screen center go under. The only other thing I change is drive help rules to no. So you could go back and pause that. But basically what it does is it closes down the perimeter a little bit. It stops you from leaving wide open threes, but it also stops you, like when you do deny ball, you can often miss the steal and just leave a wide open three. So I prefer to be tight rather than smothered there. In terms of coaching settings, the adaptive coaching engine needs to be off, and help defense needs to be all the way to 0, because this is a double team option. And again, you don't want a situation where you're leaving players open on the perimeter because you've double teamed another player. So those are the only settings I equip. There's a few things I do in game, but you'll see as we get into this game, the real keys that I've learned is rotations are important. What rotations mean is moving from one player to another to basically play defense. So if a player is open, rotating to another player to close off that player. That's ultimately what rotations mean. It's kind of a standard comp term. I didn't really understand it when I first heard it. But it is really just about switching players and making sure you're always on someone who's open. And we're going to talk about baiting and things like that as well. And we're going to talk about, to me, what is the key element of playing defense, which is a combination of off-ball and on-ball defense. So you'll see to start with here, I go into a 2-3 zone. This is always to find out if my opponent can shoot. A lot of players you play can't. You can see we put on-ball pressure on him straight away there, and then he basically, he moves it away, he doesn't want to, run straight into T-Max. So the on-ball pressure does what we need it to there. On this highlight again, on-ball pressure here forces another bump steal, and again, we're away on the counter. So on-ball is really key. Too many people play just off-ball. It's great being in the lanes. I'm playing in the lanes in this game, and you'll see that throughout. But, Rockefeller's too smart to throw those passes. So you have to be able to force sort of on-ball turnovers as well, as we knock down an early shot there. So in this possession, again, we're on-ball pressure here. We do switch quickly, but we switch again to Mikhail really quickly. You see that? We kind of jumped the... we tried to contest the corner, and then we switched to Mikhail as quickly as possible. Played on-ball defense in the post. And again, you just get a huge boost playing on-ball defense. Again, you can see here, on-ball defense, and it forces a pass that he doesn't want to make. He was completely clamped up. Again, it was all on-ball. So a big misconception is you have to play off-ball defense. On-ball defense against a good player will force bad passes, and it will force turnovers. It will force bump steals. And more importantly, it will just make your opponent uncomfortable and start playing in a way that they don't feel comfortable with. Just don't give them time to make that decision. Be on them. So you see here, we're trying to jump the passing lanes. We're having some trouble. We switch over here. We're making sure we're still playing on ball. Again, our rotations are really good here. He hasn't got an open shot. Every time he passes the ball, we rotate and cut it off. And in the end, he ends up taking a bad shot again. We switched on ball for the contest to give that a bit of a boost. So again, you'll see us come out here to put pressure on. We're actually trying to jump the lane with Aaron Gordon there. But again, he throws a bad pass because he's under a bit of pressure. And Embry, I think, ultimately got the interception. So here we are again. You can see us in the lanes. We're trying to close things off. We get over and contest. Again, he throws a bad shot. Nothing's comfortable. Again, takes a bad shot. It's all being forced. He's never comfortable. He's never able to sit there and just pull a three. He's struggling to get on the inside because we are playing on-ball clamps and we get a huge boost doing that. And we're closing off the lanes, which is causing problems for him. Again, we're on ball here. Again, just the on-ball defense forces a bad pass in the lanes. We get another steal and a fast break on the other end. So you can see this pattern again and again. We're out there putting pressure on him. We're not giving him the time to make the decisions. Again, we come across here. The clamps cause problems. We switch that time to Dishinger and we get a steal in the lane. Here, he puts up a great shot. So what I do actually is I switch my defense. So you'll see me here in a second. He's starting to score threes. So as we push up here, D-Wade goes up. We get a couple of points, but he's putting up three. So you'll see here, I switch back to man. So this is how you protect from threes. And what it should do is it should force him back inside. And here he comes. Back inside. Right, we gave up too many threes in a row. So we switch back to man. We're forcing him to take twos. If he starts getting too comfortable on the inside, we'll switch back again. And we'll constantly force him to kind of mix up his offense to deal with the changes that we're making on defense. That variety and that constant combination of mixing it up can really throw your opponent off and really cause them to struggle to get in a rhythm. So again, we're playing on-ball defense here. Now we're staying with him. So this is kind of the Curry slide mentality, you know, someone who's just kind of fishing for threes. I'm playing on-ball, but I switched to Mikal because I know he's going inside. Again, the on-ball defense throughout that entire play led to ball going out of bounds. So let's have a look at this next possession here. We go back into a zone. So he's starting to get comfortable on the inside. So let's make him shoot again. But we know he's going to shoot. So we switch to Mikal. We switch to Marin actually there. And again, we get a really good contest because we knew it was coming. You know, it'd been a while since he'd seen the player open. The reason the player was open is because we went into a zone. He tried to capitalize on it. And we knew it was coming as well. We read it and we got a good contest. So here we go again. You see, we play again on-ball defense. He had us in trouble there for sure. He was on the fast break. So again, on-ball defense. We didn't target the guy who was sort of receiving the alley-oop pass. We targeted the guy that was going to make it. We put pressure on him and he put up a bad pass. Again here, the on-ball pressure. He tries to go inside for a quick score. And again, forced into a bad pass because he's just in a box. Here again, you see, we switched really quickly to Wade here because we can see Blake was open. So we pushed to Wade and then we made sure we contested that as early as possible. Again, just reading the game. We go for an on-ball still there. Again, on-ball defense. And again, we switched to get the contest at the last second. So it's just so important. Like, you know, as long as you're quick with switching, and it will happen over time. It will happen over time. It will be very, very difficult for your opponent to get over. As long as you're comfortable with the icon switching and you know what icon is relevant to which player, over time, you'll just get better and better at switching to the right player. And you can see we're putting him under pressure again there. There's on-ball defense again, which forces a bad pass. And again, he's in the lane to get a steal. So you can see very clearly throughout this game that our defense is definitely winning the game. Rockefeller's really good at this game. We go over and contest again. Rockefeller's really good at this game. And he's really limiting the amount of sort of the lane passes, that he's kind of giving up, right? So we're really struggling to get steals in the lanes. We are playing them and we're trying to restrict him, but he's not going to throw those passes. It's only when we play on-ball defense and put him under pressure that he starts to throw bad passes when he runs out of options. When he's in a box, his choices are really limited, especially when you clamp someone to a standstill. You can see there again, just on-ball pressure again and again and again. It's the only way I'm going to beat this guy. I'm not going to be able to just sort of run him over, jumping the lanes and stealing passes throughout the whole game. I have to put him under pressure and force mistakes because he's good at the game. And you can see there, he puts us under pressure as well. Again, we catch him, on the inbound. The pressure's there. And again, we counter. So, let's just take this game as an example. If I didn't play the on-ball and the off-balls, I'm kind of switching between the two. I'm playing off-ball to make sure I close off the lanes. And that was a good example there. I switched to Dishwasher to get that steal. If I was just playing off-ball the whole game, there's a good chance I would have lost this game. Every mistake he's made has been because I forced it with on-ball defense. And it's resulted in usually an off-ball steal. It's that combination again and again. So it really is just mixing in that on-ball and off-ball, understanding that you get a huge boost when you play on-ball defense, understanding that you need to play in the lanes to close off obvious passing routes. You don't need to be sort of tight on every player that's open. You just need to be close enough to get over and contest them. And outside of that, it's just variation. We're constantly switching between a zone and man defense to stop our opponent getting into a rhythm, because that's the real killer in this game. When your opponent gets into rhythm, if you're running a zone for the entire game, halfway into the game, if your opponent's knocking down 3 after 3, if you don't have a response to that, if you don't have the ability to kind of change something, that's probably how the whole game is going to go. And likewise with off-ball defense, if you just constantly play off-ball defense, you will get exposed, because even if your players have got clamps, they'll still get blown by, because the boost from playing on-ball defense is so high. So let's just have a quick look at the stats from that game. He played very well. It was very much our defense. You can see two steals for Dishinger. Wade got 1. McGrady got 2. Just good defense across the board. And if you look at the team comparison, it's actually a very level game. He actually shot the ball better than I did. The big difference you'll see there is steals. 12 steals and also rebounds. The reason the rebounds are higher for us is because we were contesting more threes and therefore, getting those rebounds. He was obviously... he shot a couple more threes as well. But steals was really the difference. And the majority of those steals, at least 10 of them, came from playing high pressure, on-ball defense that did not give Rockefeller the time to think, make better decisions, and often forced him into a panic pass or a scary pass, which resulted in him turning the ball over. So that's what I'm learning. Again, I'm still not great at this, guys. I'm not amazing at it at all. I'm still learning. I'm still learning to be better on rotations, to make sure I'm covering off passes, to limit my opponent's options, to try and bait them as well, you know, to get them to throw a pass and know that we're going to get over and contest it if they do take that shot. It's all a learning curve, but I am definitely getting better. Like, I've been running my main squad recently. I'm 18-3. I actually lost a game today, but I'm 18-3. But my defense is definitely better, and it's definitely winning games for me for sure. And I think in this game in particular, if I hadn't played the style of defense I played, it probably would have been a loss. It was a decent win in the end, but I think without that level of defense and without the choices we made to switch when we needed to put the pressure on him when we needed to switch on ball when we needed to, and go off ball when we needed to. If we didn't do all of those things and constantly keep Rockefeller guessing in terms of what he needed to do on offense, there's a really good chance, even though we won comfortably, that we would have lost this game. So that's everything I'm learning right now, guys. These are the fundamentals for defense. Now, you're probably saying, oh, do you need to add 100 more settings and all of this? Honestly, no. If you watch any comp player, they change a couple of settings, probably even less than I do. It really comes down to just your IQ and what you're prepared to force your opponent into doing. It really comes from forcing them into mistakes. That's ultimately what's going to win you the game. And you can change a couple of settings. You can go to no threes and things like that. But if you're not going to switch and contest, that no threes option is just absolutely useless because they're not going to contest quickly enough. So play defense. The ultimate sort of message from this video is actually play defense. Play on-ball defense. Don't let the CPU do it for you, because you will be a better defender than them. It just takes practice. It just takes time, and you'll get better and better as you go. The more you do it, you'll be shocked how quickly you level up. So there it is, guys. That's my defensive video. I am going to drop an offensive one soon, and I'm going to keep doing this against elite players so you can see it works at a higher level. Guys, as always, please like and subscribe. We are on the road to 600 subs now. Do not miss the podcast on Sunday. We have DBG on the podcast. It's going to be amazing. So like and subscribe so you don't miss that. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.